Hello everyone, this is your favorite all-state lady. My name is Dr. Sula Darvel, and I'm here to help you with 2024 and 25 all-state violin excerpts for Kentucky All-State Orchestra. Let's start with the scales. This one's a little tricky just because we are playing B major and B minor at the same time, so make sure when you're playing one or the other, you're not merging into either major or minor. The way to do it is to remember that on the ascending scale, the only pitch that is different between B major and minor is the D. So as long as you play a D natural on the minor and D sharp on the major, the other pitches and the shifting pattern is exactly the same. We are going to shift once on A string, twice on E string, going up. The B major, I start in first position. Shift for the first time on the A string. Shift on the E string. And again. That's exactly the same for B minor. Shift. Shift again. And one more time. On the way down, they are quite different. B major has a finger pattern of 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. We will shift, 3, 2, 1, and one more time, shift, 3, 2, 1. That is how we descend on B major. All the way on E string, we're not going to A string, we're going to shift twice, and we will arrive back in first position. So let's find our top E. This is B major descending, 4, and then 2, 1, shift, and then shift. That's how we descend on B major. Make sure when you're descending, you know which finger is doing the actual shifting motion. When we shift down, it will be 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. We will shift back with first finger and then add the third finger. Again, shift back with first finger and then add the third finger. That will make it a prepared shift. We're going to prepare the shift with our old finger, and we're going to get into the new position with our old finger. For B minor, the pattern is different. It is going to be 4, 3, 2. We're not going to do 4, 4. We're going to do 4, 3, 2. Shift after the second finger, 3, 2, 1. One more shift, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to stay in that position, and we will do an additional shift on the A string. So let's find our top E. This is B minor descending, 4, 3, 2. Shift. Shift to third. Stay there. And then shift one more time. That's how we descend, and then we will finish the rest of the scale in first position. This happens just because we are playing a B melodic minor, so on the way back, the A sharp and G sharp that we played becomes A natural and G natural. That's why our finger pattern changes. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to do a prepared shift, so we are shifting into the new position with our old finger on the descending scale. Whether it's B major or minor, it doesn't matter. When we are doing the ascending scale, we do an anticipated shift, so we will shift with the finger that we are going to use when we get there. When we're going up, let's say B major, I'm left on second finger, but I'm shifting with first finger. So I did C, I use first finger to get into the new position. And that will happen every single time when we're doing the ascending shift. Ascending scale, and that will apply to every other scale that you do as well. On the way up, anticipated shifts. On the way down, we're going to do prepare shifts. When you're practicing it slowly, make sure you hear those shifting pitches so that you can train your arm and your ears at the same time. Make sure you're not stopping and jumping into the new position, which will probably make it out of tune, and you can't control and you can't train that kind of shift. So hear your shifts when you're preparing it slowly. When it's in tempo, I like playing 12-note slurs. You don't have to do that. You're more than welcome to do 3-note slurs, 6-note slurs. Something that is consistent is great. I stick to approximately 120 to the quarter note, and I do like doing them fast. As long as it's legible, as long as it's clean and in tune, you don't have to go super fast. Make sure it's not very slow and pedantic though, and I would definitely do some sort of a slur so you're not playing at one pitch at a time for each note. first excerpt from Mendelssohn. I'm going to start this excerpt in first position. When I'm done with that phrase, I'm going to shift to third position, where I'm going to do that motive every time that happens in third position, and I'm going to use first finger for G sharps. Think about it like a slight extension backwards. It's not really an extension, but it's something in between second and third position. Make sure you're not using fourth finger for the G sharp, because if you constantly do string crossings in this tempo, it's going to get you either out of tune or your articulation is not going to be right. Your string crossing is going to be a problem. So use one on G sharps, but you're not shifting back and forth. You're in third position. Your arm is set. You're just reaching back with the first finger. It's very important that you don't practice that while shifting, because when it's slow, it will be fine. When you try to get it up to speed, it will be a problem. The third position will continue until measure 137. On the last note, I will shift down. I will shift down to first position. I will stay there until 139. On the first E natural, I will go up again. I will stay there again in third position, just like we did in the beginning. I will shift again back to first position at 145. Last note, same exact idea. Shift back. And then we're going to stay there for a while. The next time we're going to shift up will be 150. And there's a double stop there. If it's gonna make your life harder, play the top note. If it's not, I would play the double stop. So I would do, we finish the phrase in first position. This is 150. This double stop, I actually go to third position and play it as a double stop. And I will stay there. And then after the octave, go down to first. Stay there in first position between 152 until 154. Where you see the double stop, we will shift up again to third position. So it's going to be, and then stay there, go down, and then stay in first position until pianissimo measure, which is 162. We're going to start it in first position. Either go up to third position on the next measure, or stay in first and go on A. There are two different options for you. Remember, the key to this excerpt is keeping a compact bow, stay in the balance point, practice it really articulately and staccato on the string. So when you're practicing this, you practice with a really very crisp articulation on the string, and make sure when you're practicing you see the bow flexing. So you need to pulsate with your index finger. Don't practice it off the string, practice on the string, staccato, and then get it progressively faster, and it will start coming off by itself if you're practicing it right. But the most important thing is to keep the articulation here and having a very compact bow, and this is fortissimo almost throughout except for the last line. So keep that in mind. You're going to have a nice, crisp, clean sound. That's the key to this excerpt. Otherwise, it will not be a problem. Mussorgsky excerpt. This one is tricky, but I have some pointers that will hopefully make your life easier. Practice this excerpt when you're learning it on the string arco. I know there will be a lot of alterations between the pizz and arco, but make sure you can hear the pitches first and make sure you can tune it, and then switch to pizzicato and then get it faster and faster. The first chord, play all three notes at the same time. E flat will be 1, A open, and F sharp will be 2. The next three pizzas, do it on third finger in first position. And then I'm going to use that third finger to shift up to sixth position. So I was left on third finger. I will get there with third finger, and then at the fourth finger, my G will be on a 4, and then I stay in that position. Then for the A and F sharp double stop, we will shift down to first position, and then we stay there for a while, and then we will shift again. This time we're gonna go to a G second finger. And I would like you to shift there with the second finger already on the string after you play the A. So once we get to that G, that's still a pizzicato, stay in that position, B flat will be 1, and then we will keep in that position for 1.5 measures. And then I'm playing, this is our rehearsal 98, I'm playing that B natural with a 2. The same measure on the D sharp, you're gonna stretch slightly backwards to get this D sharp right. And then after you set the D sharp, you're gonna put a low 4. So your G is gonna be on a low 4. The next D natural is again on a 1. And then we stay in this position, which is the 6th position. We played that already, until we finish the phrase. Where there's a D sharp B, where it says divisi, you can just play the top note in 6th position. Right after you're done, the D sharp again will be a first finger. That's my D sharp. And I will play those pizzas in 6th position. After that, where it says arco unison before rehearsal 99, we're gonna go to 3rd position. And then stay there. Finish that phrase in 3rd position. We go up again to 6th position. By this time, you're comfortable with it because we've been there a couple of times. Finish that phrase, all of it in 6th position. And that will happen exactly the same way 2 times. Let's go to rehearsal 100, which will be in 3rd position. Again, you have to play all 3 notes at the same time. And then after the pits, stay in 3rd position. The same motif will happen 4 times. We are gonna play all 4 of them in 3rd position. Easy peasy. The gliss measure, look at that measure. It only happens in 2 quarter notes. Ba-wam. That's the speed of it. So don't overthink it. Make sure the first note is in tune and the last note is in tune. I would recommend you to go halfway with first finger, and once you get to 3rd position, switch to 4th finger. So halfway with 1, halfway with 4. If you go all the way up with 4, it's not a problem, but that's what I would do. Make sure the last note, A flat, is actually an A flat. You don't want to overshift. That's an important pitch. After you do the gliss, I do 4, so pull your 4th finger slightly backwards. That's with A flat. This is my G, a little bit backwards, and I will stay in 6th position. Again, you're comfortable at this point. Still in 6th position. Right here, this is the last line, the last note of the first measure. I'm gonna go to 3rd position. Stay in 3rd. This is the 2nd measure of last line. Last note, I'm going to 1st position. And then I will finish it there. I do after A flat, D natural 4, E flat 4, and then finish. That's it. And you will get to hear what it sounds like when it's in tempo. 92 is too fast. I would recommend you to do it not faster than 80 to the half note. 92 is a little bit frantic, and I haven't played it at 92, I don't think, ever in my life, and I don't think I heard many recordings that is that fast. So 80 is a good speed. Make sure you're clean, make sure you're not using too much bow. Again, just like Mendelssohn, you need compact bow. The repeated notes have to be in the middle, but how do we get there? When we do the pizzas, do the pizzas a little bit with your arm, and on the last note, you're gonna pitch, you're gonna end up with your arm motion in the middle, and then you're gonna play the arco right in the middle. If you do that, then you don't have to constantly worry about putting your bow on the string. So use the pits to get to the middle, and you're gonna play the repeated notes always in the middle. This, again, is hard for intonation. It's a little tricky, but if you do slowly getting it faster, you will be fine. start practicing it with the quarter notes, and then when it gets fast, then you can go on to beating the half note. I hope this was helpful. I will see you guys again next year for another All State video.